Hello everyone and welcome to this video where we would be discussing about your revision and study planner for your CA Final SFM. Particularly helpful for your CA Final May 24 and November 23 attempts. So we have discussed a similar video for financial reporting. Now FR is a relatively bigger topic when you compare it with SFM. SFM is a lot more intense, a lot more numerically intense as well. So the revision for SFM gets over from anywhere between 7 to 10 days. So we have again, like FR, we have given 3 different plans. First is 7 to 8 days, which will take around 75 hours of time, which is, if you are really good in SFM numbers, comfortable, then you can look at this. The last one, that is 9 to 10 days, that is close to 105 hours. This is in a relatively relaxed manner. You can complete your SFM, and the apt plan again would be to complete this in around 8 to 9 days, which is around 90 hours. So I will focus my discussion currently on this middle plan, which is ideally the plan you should stick to. 90 hours, close to 8 to 9 effective days will be the target for your SFM. So how should you start? Well, we will first finish the numerical, the practical portion of SFM. The course is kind of subdivided into 4 categories when we look at practical topics, and then there is theory separately. We'll keep theory for the end. First, finishing off close to, out of the 100 marks, close to 80 marks of your paper, which is practical numerical paper. First, finishing that off, we will have valuation and mergers. So this is the first thing that you should start with. Valuation includes valuation of bonds, valuation of shares, other securities like convertibles, money market instruments, everything. The valuation of securities should definitely be the first topic that you start with, because a lot of your valuation concepts, even in the other topics like mergers, to some extent even in portfolio, are linked to this. So first, finish off valuation, specifically do valuation of shares properly, has a lot of implication going forward. In bonds, do concepts like duration, yield to maturity, etc. at proper details. So valuation is a fairly long topic. We would give a leisurely 16 hours over here because there are a lot of questions, a lot of variety of topics. So a lot of miscellaneous sections as well. So close to 16 hours, 15 to 16 hours, I would say, would be dedicated towards valuation, out of which close to 6 to 7 hours can be kept for bonds. Another 6 to 12 hours, 6 to 7 hours can be kept for equity. Another 2-3 hours for miscellaneous topics like buyback, right shares, convertibles, etc. After that, immediately jump on to mergers. Mergers is relatively easier, in my opinion, within the tier 1 category topics. This is one of the easiest topic and the most scoring one. So ensure that you do mergers properly. Concepts involving post-merger market price, post-merger EPS, impact when there are different growth rates, etc. Economic value added are important topics here. So this is the first part. We'll get over in close to 25 to 26 hours. Then move on to the entire bunch of topics which are connected to portfolio, which will include portfolio management, which is very, very formula intense. So obviously we will try to understand the rationale for these formulae as well as remembering the formula over here. So close to 11 hours for portfolio. Then going on to mutual funds, maybe 3.5, maybe stretching it up to 4 hours should be sufficient. If you do portfolio properly, mutual funds should kind of follow fairly easily. Then you have risk management and corporate valuation. Risk management only has the concept of value at risk bar, which is something that you should properly do. And when we look at corporate valuation, these are some other sundry allied valuation topics. Again, close to 15 to 16 hours for this bunch. Next, you move on to the slightly more heavier topics of foreign exchange, which is SFM, which is foreign exchange, as well as international financial management. First, finishing of foreign exchange. This is undoubtedly the most important topic within all your SFM topics. So we give a very, very detailed weightage of close to 21 hours. Now that is a fairly long period of time. That is effectively in your study leave. You're sitting with foreign exchange with for approximately 2 full days. So for a lot of students, you can probably finish it even faster, but I would recommend that you kind of give your due weight behind foreign exchange, because this is one topic which is not really related as much with other sections of your syllabus, but it is something which is very important. Then going on to international financial management, well, finish that off in around 2.5 hours. We have also done, an institute also has 3 very long case studies. Just kind of broadly go through those case studies. They don't come in the exact same form in the exam. The other questions that are there, the relatively smaller and digestible pieces of questions which are there, are relatively more important in the international financial management piece. So again, close to 23 odd hours behind this section. And then lastly, going to derivatives and interest rate. So in this sequence, derivatives first, focusing on index futures, focusing on option, specifically option payoff and option valuation using binomial or theoretical option value, core focus over there, and then interest rates. So interest rates is something which is which makes a lot of students slightly uncomfortable. So give your due share. Maybe if it's 6.5 hours you need slightly more, well be it. This is average timing. Maybe you can even give more hours if you're not very comfortable with interest rate concepts, because if you kind of keep your understanding shallow at the study leave period, probably at a later date it will be very difficult to grasp. So if required, kind of push a little more in terms of time when it comes to interest rates. And then a lot of students keep theory right for the end. I would recommend that while you are doing your first revision, invest some time. We have 2 videos on YouTube, which is on theory compiler. I mean, you can kind of at least refer to those videos, have a broad understanding on topics like securitization, startup finance, etc., which almost always come in every exam. Theory is something that is scoring if you have studied it. It is not possible probably to study the entire body of theory which is there in the study material for the type of weightage that comes, but at least those topics which are there and which we have tried to cover to the best extent possible through our theory compiler videos, you can just refer them at least at this time of study leave. Don't really keep it at the end. So maybe 6 hours, out of which maybe 4.5 hours, 3 to 4 hours at the speed viewing, you can probably view the theory class and then probably go through the important questions and topics which we have mentioned. So that should cover the theory section at the end, and hence 90 hours should be the apt period of time. Again, over here we have given the revision video links, so in case required you can just refer to the revision videos and then go on to the topics. Will probably help you more. Again, as we recommend, it is possible that if you want some writing practice, just ensure that in SFM you do more topics on pen and paper, because this is not a legal subject in the sense there's no law or cases involved, it's more of numbers. So there's a high possibility you can make, let us say, mathematical calculations, silly mistakes which you don't want to repeat in the exams. You will do that on pen and paper. At least 50% of the topic you should try to do on pen and paper. Easier topics you can do on the calculator as well. This is one subject, unlike FR, which is having just 1.5 days. In FR, you don't really need to work as hard to kind of find the last day set, because you have the first paper and hence you have enough time to prepare. In SFM, you just have 1.5 days. So your ideal strategy should be, when you are revising during the study leave, if there is a topic which, let us say, has 60 problems, let us say it has 60 questions, your idea should be to kind of outline those 25 or 30 questions that you have to refer the day before your exam. It is not possible to refer every question. So divide the questions into 3 categories, A, B and C, where category A type of questions, which we have also shared the important question list, but again it differs student to student. So you can put category A, this is a question which you should definitely refer before your exam, that should be around 25 to 30, that is 40 to 50% of your overall topic should be category A, which you can refer on the last day. There will be some questions which are relatively lengthy, but there are just 1 or 2 adjustments which are good, and you don't really want to invest your entire time the day before the exam in reading the entire question. So what I would suggest is, these are B category topics where you take a highlighter, let us say a specific color highlighter which you don't generally use, highlight that adjustment in the question and highlight that exact impact of that adjustment in the solution where you are referring. So the last day you don't skip that question, but at the same time you don't invest your time in reading the entire question all over again. Just refer to that highlighted part, that one adjustment which may be slightly tricky over here, and the impact of that in the solution. Put a highlighter so you refer those 2 things. In the study leave, you refer everything. The day before your exam, you are preparing to selectively refer those topics before your exam. So out of the 60 questions, let us say 25 to 30 are to be fully referred. Another 10 to 15, let us say, we just refer the adjustments. And in every, no matter where you have done your SFM, there will be a lot of questions which are very basic concept builder category questions, which are typically there at the start or at the beginning of explaining those concepts. Now, this is not something that you should invest your time the day before your exam. Now, you might say, okay, it's a very small problem. It may be small, but if there are 500 problems in your book, even if you invest 2 minutes in a problem, and that's very less the day before your exam, you can probably save, if you can just eliminate 100 to 150 problems, 150 into 2, you're just saving close to 300 minutes. That's 5 valuable hours effectively on an overly simplified basis. So ensure that you do this exercise now and don't wait for the end. Don't wait for others to tell you what is important, what is not. You can refer that as a base, but again, when you are revising as a student, you might falter in certain questions which others find it very easy, or likewise you might find some questions which are fairly easy which others might struggle in, and hence to customize the list is very important. You can always have a standard list. We have shared that on the Telegram channel as well, but it is important that you customize that as well. Don't keep theory for the end. Once you finish this entire course, it is always preferable if you write a mock test. If you have taken a test series somewhere, excellent. If not, just download the latest institute question paper, one of the recent institute question papers, write that, time yourself in 3 hours, and you should be good to go. So that should be it. I hope this video has been helpful and it has kind of maybe given you some direction on your SFM revision. Please do let me know your comments, if any, in the comment box, and please do like and share and subscribe to our channel. Please press the bell icon and be there for further updates that we would be sharing. I will be sharing this planner on the Telegram channel. So this is, I think the link will be shared, but otherwise it is CA Bhavik Chokshi, final FR SFM. So you can refer that from there. That should be it then. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Take care.